Let's get nuts indeed, folks. What is happening? Welcome to Film Junkie Live. It's Labor Day, that's right. Some people, it's actually Labor Day. I didn't have to work today, thankfully, but hey, kudos to all the people out there that still had to work today. You know, it happens. It happens. Not everybody gets the day off. I get it. But what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Film Junkie Live on your Monday, September 1st. We are in September now. It is getting into spooky season, right? Everybody's already busting out those Halloween decorations and thinking about their costumes and everything, so you love it, right? Spooky season, even though it's still hot as balls outside, my God. So good to see you guys. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like, thumbs up. We got a lot of Clayface to talk about because, man, did that just take over the weekend when it came to all the set photos and videos from Clayface, which who would have thought? Who would have thought that we'd be talking about set videos and photos of Clayface? I love it. And then we're going to talk about Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, everybody's been talking about him lately. And, I'm going to give my opinions on certain things and everything. And then, of course, we have the box office. And then, of course, we have Mortal Kombat 2 that got delayed 7 whole freaking months, which is interesting. So I want to talk about that. And then, of course, we'll talk about other things as well. Superman box office. All the things. So who's out there, guys? Talk to me. Oh, we got Ryan right here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ryan. Happy birthday to you. So there you go. And your 30th birthday. Aw, so young. I'm trying to remember my 30th birthday. What the hell did I do on my 30th birthday? I don't remember. We just hung out with people. Anyways, what's going on, Eric? Happy alleged Labor Day to all the blue-collar workers out there who didn't get the today off, and the white-collar folks. Yeah, well, like I said, that's just the way things are, you know? But I still worked on my YouTube stuff. I still edited some things and whatnot, so what's going on for you, Jason? Always great to see you, bud. We got Taladia Plays. What is happening? All right, and we got Arkham Knight. What is going on? Monique, happy Monday at Red Robin for dinner after buying Powerball. Did you win? Oh, I know the Powerball's high. I probably should go get one myself because, man, that Powerball I think is like getting pretty up there. You just never know, right? You always imagine what it would be like to win the lottery, but nobody ever freaking play it. But you don't play it, right? It's just, I don't know. I don't play it. I don't play the lottery. I don't know. And then you hear about those stories too, like people winning the lottery and they blow it all off in a few years because they don't know how to spend money or save money or invest money or anything like that. I mean, if you win the lottery, you should hire a wealth management coach. You should automatically just get accountants and get people to just, don't just splurge it on cars and mansions and shit. You have to like actually do something. If I ever won it, I would first off, I'd make sure my family got a chunk of it, and then I would keep a big chunk, and then I would just be like investing, putting it in like, certain whatever the hell, I don't know the whole terminology, but man, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Anyways, what's going on there, main man? Dano, nice catching live. I'm doing pretty good, bud. As a Red Sox, sorry for actually, he's doing good right now. He's had a hell of a last couple of weeks. It took him a bit, but he's swinging that bat pretty hard. He's swinging the bat pretty hard. So I'm actually enjoying Davers right now because at first I wasn't, and at first I didn't like the trade, but now I'm warming up to it. I know he's a little bit of a diva, but hey, he's actually been swinging the bat very nicely these past couple of weeks. So we'll see what happens. Lena the God, hey, let's see, it's your 21st birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lena the Goddess. Happy birthday to you. Something tells me that there might, I don't know. Is that who I think it is? Is that the Mr. Spammer? Probably not. Hopefully not, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm looking at the profile picture and going, possibly, who knows, but hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We got the Patreon too. I do a Monday post show after every Monday show on there. Do like a slight little recap, talk about more things for about 5 minutes or so. And of course on the Patreon you get all the videos, clips, and everything ad free. You usually get them first too, sometimes at the same time. But yeah, got that. And of course, the membership program. We do a members only stream. Sometimes we don't do it every Wednesday. Didn't do it last Wednesday because I did a Film Junkie Not So Live, but we'll do one this Wednesday for sure. And then, so do all that. Follow me on all the sock mids out there. And I had a pretty good weekend. Went to Palm Springs over the weekend. I had a buddy of mine who rented an Airbnb. So met up with him. We invited some more people over. It was hot as balls, but there was a swimming pool and it was great. Did a lot of drinking, and so did that. And then the next day went over to my friend's house that's closer. She was having people over, and so we got some food, sandwiches and shit, and then we were in her pool and everything. So I did a lot of swimming and a lot of drinking this weekend. So it was good to see some friends over the weekend. A lot of friends. It was really cool. Some friends I hadn't seen in a bit. Are those boobs? Yeah, I know. I mean, that's when it came to Lena the Goddess. I don't know. Like I said, sometimes I don't know. When I see something out there, I'm just like going, maybe that's legit, but who knows? We've had some spammers out there. We know that, and it's boobs. So hopefully you guys had a good weekend. And let's get started. All right, we're gonna start off. We're gonna start off the tweets. We're gonna get to the tweets right now. I'm gonna start off with this. I don't know if you guys knew this. I had no idea about this, and I love it. And this is what I love about now, because there's just information everywhere, but there's so much information that sometimes you just miss things. And I'm sure this was very well known already or whatever the hell. I just was like, I just saw this right here and I had no idea. But Forrest Gump. So Forrest Gump, Elvis shows up in Forrest Gump. Okay? Elvis shows up in Forrest Gump. I had no idea that the voice of Forrest Gump was, in fact, Kurt Russell. So, I mean, obvious when you see this. So, I mean, it's not him being the actor, and he's always blurred up, so it looks like Elvis. But that is Kurt Russell talking right there. I had no idea. Anyways, I just thought that was kind of cool. Because Kurt Russell has been a diehard Elvis fan for a while. And then, of course, I don't know if you guys saw a movie called 3,000 Miles of Graceland, where he played an Elvis impersonator with Kevin Costner and some other guys, where they were doing a heist in Vegas. It's pretty cool. So I just thought that was, I don't know, just a little movie thing that I thought was pretty sweet. I like that kind of stuff. Anyways, you guys wishing each other a happy birthday out there. Luis Guzman. Luis Guzman was, we got Wednesday coming out, part 2 of season 2, I guess you could say. I got to catch up on Wednesday, another show I got to catch up on. But Luis Guzman, of course, he plays Gomez Addams in Wednesday. He was with the cast, doing like a round table circle. I don't know exactly where this was on or anything like that, but he threw a little shade. Mr. Guzman threw a little shade at a certain Jennifer Lopez that was kind of going around, and it was pretty hilarious. Check this out.
Okay, Adam Sandler.
Amazing.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Bellissima.
Jennifer Lopez.
Okay.
Yes! What the hell? Do you see that? And the reactions are priceless. I love the reactions.
Jennifer Lopez.
Okay.
Look at those reactions. Oh my God. Come on. And then even like Jenna Ortega's like, oh boy. And everybody's laughing.
Okay.
Hilarious. It's a little shade. I think it's known by a lot of people that she's a diva. She's been engaged how many times, married how many times. I think there's a common denominator right there. Just Ben Affleck was laughing his ass off when he saw that video. I guarantee you. Maybe, I don't know if he ends up seeing that video, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Affleck would be like, he ain't wrong by saying that. Jesus. But yeah, so it was just kind of funny. A little shade thrown at J-Lo right there from Luis Guzman. Gotta love it. And then, yes, guys, holy shit. Okay, so we got a couple of things here. Okay, I wanted to talk about this because Star Wars Starfighter. That needs a title change, in my opinion, because I'm just kind of going like, Do you need Star twice? Star Wars, Starfighter? I don't know. I don't think you do. But it's going into production right now. Of course, it's going to be directed by Sean Levy, and it's going to be starring Ryan Gosling. And we got our first image from the set. Day one, there is Ryan Gosling, and there is, I don't know who that actor is, the kid, but that's, of course, the character's son. I forgot exactly who that, but we'll find out in a bit because I'm going to get like a little cast listing right here. But there's like the first shot. Of course, they posted that on the official Star Wars channel, and then, of course, Star Wars Twitter account, and then Sean Levy also did that. But we have like an updated cast. We have an updated cast when it comes to this Star Wars Starfighter. God, they need to change that name, but here we go. Amy Adams. What? Amy Adams. And Aaron Pierre. Whoa. Stacking this cast. We already heard about Maya Goth. Matt Smith, I don't think we heard about. Flynn Gray is the kid that you saw in that set photo right there, so that's cool. Simon Bird, Daniel Ings, and Jamal Westman. Quite the cast, but Amy Adams in a Star Wars movie? I would have never had that on my bingo card. Never would have had that. Aaron Pierre? Sure. Amy Adams? I just wouldn't have thought she would have been in a Star Wars movie. I don't know. It's interesting. I love it. I love Amy Adams, so sign me up for this. But they just need to change that damn title. They just need to change that title. They really do. Anyways, all right. Let me just make sure of something here. Kind of wondering. No, I think is it fine? I'm making sure the stream's fine. We're good? Okay, we're good. I think we're good.
For comfort in every room,
no,
rely on two brands you know and trust.
Sorry, I'm just checking something. I was just checking something real quick. Just making sure it was not choppy. Okay, we're good. We're not choppy. Okay, anyway, so I just thought that was pretty interesting. I like the fact that, hey, Amy Adams is joining that. Cool. What the fuck? Star Wars movie is entering production after how many? I know, right? It's been so long since we've had a Star Wars movie. Insane. And then it was kind of funny, too, because Daniel RPK, he actually posted that Eva Mendes is reportedly has been cast in there, and she's playing Ryan Gosling's wife in the movie. And of course, that even says that it's, some of his scoops. Yeah, there was like a community note that said, oh yeah, some of his scoops are not correct and everything. But then I was just like, wow, Eva Mendes is going to come out of retirement and she's going to be playing Ryan Gosling's wife? How is she going to play Ryan Gosling's wife? She's got to study for that role. That's a joke. It's a stupid joke because she is married to Ryan Gosling in real life. She's still gorgeous. And speaking of gorgeous, I tell you what, man, Sony had, and it sucks that Sony still is handling the Spider-Man universe a little bit, and they've been doing a bad job. Let's face it, they've been doing a bad job when it comes to the Spider-Man villain movies that they put out there. Morbius, Craven, and of course, Madam Web. And Madam Web, I mean, they had this, guys, and they knew fuck all what to do with it. You had these three costumes, and you didn't know what to do with it. They showed up for a whole, 8 seconds? 10 seconds? In some future dream sequence? And that was it. Sydney Sweeney, who's now, huge now. Isabella Merced is getting up there. I forget what her name is. I apologize. I totally blanking on her name. She didn't blow up as much as the other two, but she was in Ghostbusters. I know that. But look at those costumes. The costumes are fantastic. The costumes are absolutely fantastic. And they barely wore them. They barely did anything with them. I mean, I think they were their whole idea was, we're going to tease, what's going to happen in the future with these three right here and Madam Web. But then, of course, that didn't work out. And they kept changing the script. The script initially was going to be sounding like a Terminator 2, like a Terminator situation where that one dude, whatever the hell his name was, I forgot his name, that's Ezekiel or whatever the hell, was going to come back and kill Aunt May, or not Aunt May, but Peter's mom, when she's, when bun's in the oven. So it was going to be that kind of situation, which would have been cool. It would have been cool. They showed these three in the costumes. Yeah, I know. And they showed them they were trying to sell the whole thing too with all that. It was ridiculous. Absolutely freaking ridiculous, man. I tell you what. Oh, we all got bamboozled, guys. Sorry to tell you this, guys. Sorry to tell you this because I know a lot of people were excited when they were hearing about this. But the sad fact of the matter is, it wasn't a thing. It was all PR, which makes sense. It's good PR. Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson were never dating. And it was all a PR stunt from the beginning. That's right. Never were dating. And everybody's like, oh my God, I love that they found each other. That's so cool. Blah, blah. I mean, how many times we saw that? But yeah, it was all hooey. It was all hooey, which is interesting because they played it off pretty well. And I'm just kind of going like, well, why not? Why not date each other? But then again, they both might be dating somebody else. And it was just like part of the whole thing. It was part of the PR. But yeah, sorry to break your hearts, guys. Sorry to break your hearts, guys, but they're not. We can't do the Liam Anderson, Limana, what would you call it? Pamela, Limana. I can't even say that. Limala. That's the way you combine the names. Limala. That's very hard to say. Anyways. Yeah, Eric, I'm surprised. Yeah, when I was talking about that, I was like, I knew you'd be excited for that. Hey, Dell, what's going on, man? Good to see you out there in the chat. Always great to see you out there, Dell. Reminding me on Twitter that pumpkin spice season has started. When I saw that, I think I was in bed. I think I was lying in bed, and I was just like, shit. That's right, pumpkin spice season has now begun. That's another thing. Pumpkin spice. I'm not a fan of pumpkin spice. But you know what I am a fan of? Back to the fucking Future, man. 4 years of Back to the Future. Came out in 1985. And they're re-releasing it, of course, to celebrate the 40 years of Back to the Future. And they released a new trailer for it. We won't watch the whole thing, of course, but it's great. You know, doing a re-release.
Time machine that you invented. Oh, anybody
and we love the trailer, all the things. Roads? Yes, we already go and we don't need roads. Has it been that long? IMAX. So what are we doing, folks? Who wants to go to an IMAX theater and have ourselves some fun? On October 31st, Halloween, for God's sakes. Halloween, you can see Back to the Future on an IMAX screen. I was telling my buddy this over the weekend because we went to the 25th anniversary. I think it was I went to the 25th anniversary re-release. Me and my buddy, who I saw this weekend, we went to the 25th anniversary, and we had another buddy who dressed up like Marty and everything. And it was great. It's great. Even though you've seen the movie 1,000 times, it doesn't matter. When you're watching a movie that you've seen 1,000 times, you're watching with other folks that have seen it 1,000 times also. And when you know every line and know every beat, it just works when you're watching with a bunch of people that love the movie. It's a good time at the movies. It really is. I mean, that happened even too, like when the 20 year of Revenge of the Sith, that was like kind of like a similar thing too. It's not going to be as fun as this, but I'm telling you, yeah. Gonna go see that shit. What's going on, Clone Avenger? Good to see you, buddy. Gonna go back in time. All right. So this was kind of disappointing. I have actually talked about this on the Vox stream because I remember kind of hearing about this, but then I, this video was going around. I'm like, oh wow, shit. That's Peter Dinklage. Why do you keep on disappointing people, especially your community?
Actually, to be honest with you, it was not me in the prosthetic. It was our friend Luisa, who I knew going in that she was going to be doing the prosthetic work. Some people might go, thank God, because I would never want to do that. I really do love wearing prosthetics to an extent. Luisa probably had a gig that I could never comprehend doing because that's a full body suit with movable parts in the middle of summer, where it was like 100 degrees in Bulgaria. So I relinquished my usual control and it turned into gratefulness because she was extraordinary. We had a couple weeks of rehearsal, body movement rehearsal. I performed the whole movie as TOXIE. She studied it all, my mannerisms, and I can't speak enough for her and the commitment and the work she put in.
So yeah, the entire time you see TOXIE, that is not, in fact, Peter Dinklage. Not Peter Dinklage. So I was a little disappointed because I remember hearing about that. Kind of remember hearing something, but I didn't really pay attention to it. And then when I saw the video, I was like, oh shit, this was like right after I saw it too. Like I enjoyed Toxic Avenger, but now I'm just kind of going, wow. So my question is, okay, so how much did she get paid compared to you, sir? Because she had to endure the elements. She had to endure the prosthetics and the hot summer while you just, showed up at the first like 10, 15 minutes and then you turn into TOXIE and then you just go into a booth, air-conditioned booth, and talk into a microphone. I'm just kind of wondering, like, what was, how much did she get paid compared to yours? I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not trying to be like that kind of guy, but I'm just like I'm hoping she got a bump when Peter decided not to get into the prosthetics. I don't know. I know he was already in hot water with the whole Snow White thing by saying like, oh, there shouldn't be, you know, actors shouldn't be doing all that. That shouldn't be a thing, which pissed off a lot of the people in this community already. They're already ousting him. Now, I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to really care about this. It just kind of just made me go, man, I don't know how many actors. There's been actors out there that just have that have endured those kind of elements, you know, when they get in the prosthetics. Look at Jim Carrey as the Grinch. You know, it's like you sign up for a role, you play the role. I don't know. That's just me, though. I don't know. And if you guys want to see my view, look at that. I mean, that was when I was in Palm Springs. That was the Airbnb. It was really cool. I just took that shot right there from the living room. And that's looking out onto the pool. But that's where I was on Saturday into Sunday. It was all retro 60s vibe and everything. So pretty sweet. But it was just so freaking hot. But, you know, it's all good. It's all good. Zack freaking Snyder. Oh, man. He's filming. He's filming right now. That's right. The last photograph, I think it's already kind of started production, or they're doing like tests or whatever, and they're scouting locations. We've already seen some really cool shots of Zack out there scouting wherever he's going to be shooting this film. But of course, yes, naturally, guys, he is going to be the director of photography. He is going to be operating the camera. That's right. He is the cinematographer. I know a lot of people don't like that. There's a lot of people that don't like it when Zack is the cinematographer. They're like, bring back Larry Fong. I mean, I don't know how many times I hear people going, bring back Larry Fong, bring back Chris Terrio. They need that writer, and then it's like, I don't know, it's not always going to be like that. You know, those guys have other gigs and other things to do. But we have this shot right here that was posted on Vero, and look at that. It's a pretty cool shot, black and white shot. There's Zack. I'm pretty sure that's Zack right there holding that camera, holding it up to the slate. Zack Snyder, the last photograph. So it looks like they're already starting production, and Zack is operating that camera. Is he wearing nail polish? Maybe. I guess so. I'm like looking at that thumb. I don't know if it's like the lighting or the way that's like black and white, but maybe it is. I don't know. He's got that tattoo right there. So, yeah, it's looking good. We're going to get a lot of beautiful shots. A lot of beautiful shots from where he's shooting this damn movie. So, love that shit. Gonna go back in time. His on-screen presence should have been CGI then. Yeah, they probably... I wonder how much that would have cost, though. I wonder how much that would have cost, a CGI TOXIE. A CGI TOXIE? Yeah. I just feel bad. I mean, I don't feel bad. Hopefully she just got paid well. I just hope she got paid well. Because it just kind of, I don't know. To me, it's just like, oh, man, it's a cop-out. Oh, you don't want to endure that? I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. Check this out, guys. The future of cinema? Maybe? Who knows? There's probably going to be something like this when it comes to... movie theaters, and then when it even comes to people in their own homes. Check this out. I don't know. It's getting a little too much here, and God knows how much these tickets would be. Looks cool. It'd be like a cool way to play video games, too. All right, you get it. I don't know. It's going to be interesting if they this kind of technology, you know, because they're already doing the screen that goes onto the sidewalls, which I went and saw Furiosa with one of those. What do they call that? Screen X or whatever the hell. And I thought it was cool for like the first 10, 20 minutes, and then I got tired of it. That's the thing. Like the gimmicky stuff doesn't always work for everybody because you just get tired of it after a while. So I don't know. But if you were to have that in your home, that'd be kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. Screen X, yeah. I didn't really, like I said, I thought the Screen X thing was cool, but then I got over it in like 20 minutes. I'm going, all right, this is annoying now. I don't know. And tell me. I mean, this. I saw this last night, and I laughed my ass off. Or it was the night before. I don't know. And it just made me laugh. It just made me laugh because you immediately just hear it. And I hear you're still looking for Matt Damon. I don't know why that totally cracked me up right there when I saw that. Somebody made that poster of using the puppet from the World Police, Team America World Police, the Matt Damon thing, and then I don't know, I just laughed my ass off. It was like one of those where you just come across something, you just laugh. You just laugh because it's hilarious. It's hilarious. All right. David Cornsweat's Superman costume, Superman suit, whatever you want to call it. I mean, we've talked about it. There's such a discourse when it comes to that suit. There still is a discourse, no matter what. I still get chuckleheads in my mentions talking about how bad the suit is. It's like, yeah, I get it. Not everybody likes the suit. The suit's grown on me. I don't know how many times I've talked about the suit not having the chonies. And Superman freeballing, there's been so many photoshops, different angles and everything. I've been talking about that for like the past year. I'm kind of tired. I'm tired of talking about Superman's underwear, all right? I think I'm tired of talking about the undergarments that are the outer garments on his costume. For the most part, when it comes to the new suit, it benefits with the chones. It just does. But what if we had the black and silver? The black and silver, which I'm a huge fan of. The black and silver suits. Cavill's black and silver suit and Zack Snyder's Justice League is absolutely gorgeous, but there was never a physical black and silver suit. Some people still think that it's actually like he wore a black and silver suit, but look at all the BTS footage for Justice League. He never wore a black and silver suit, but Zack Snyder, when he was getting screwed over by that guy in the ball cap and, Warner Brothers and everything, when they were trying to course correct while he was filming, he wanted to have the black and silver suit. They didn't want to have the black and silver suit. So then they filmed it in such a way where they could just change the color palette and just make it look like black and silver, and it looked seamless. But imagine a physical Superman suit. I'm talking about David Cornsweat's Superman in the black and silver, and it looks pretty damn good. Look at the cape. Look at the cape. Look at the cape. That's right. There's the cape right there with the silver emblem, right? And it's just, I don't know, the black and silver just always works. And then you see the front of it right there. Pops! It pops! And this time you don't actually see distinct chonies right there. I don't know. You don't see the distinct... somebody just made this. This is not DC Studios or anything like that, but somebody made this. And I'm just like going, you know what? Looks cool. I mean, the black and silver just pops. It always pops. Superman looks good in black and silver. I don't know what it is. You got that silver belt right there. Come on. Pops. Pops. I don't think we'll ever see that in live action. I don't think there's a necessity for it unless James Gunn decides to bring on the solar suit. Who knows? But it's pretty sweet. But like I said, when people go like, what's your favorite Superman costume? I'll sometimes just go like the black and silver one from Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's just it looks good. It looks good. And then speaking of gimmicks, when it comes to movie theater going experience, this gimmick I can get around. I could totally get around this gimmick right here for The Long Walk. That's going to be coming out this month. The Long Walk, the Stephen King-based novel movie, whatever they want to call it, that has Mark Hamill in it and some young talent in it about these guys that have to walk a certain pace for a long time or else they basically get killed. So they have a gimmick right now where they're having the people who are paying to get in there, you have to walk on a treadmill 3 miles an hour, and if you can't do that, you get bumped. You can't watch the rest of the movie. So they have this gimmick right here for it. You're watching the movie and you're walking on a treadmill.
Nobody signs up for this. Not really. Not smart talk bad about The Long Walk.
Hey, I will take that over some freaking, grotesque guy behind me who's, just eating with his flimsy box, when you go in there, at the opening of every movie, right? Especially if it's a big movie, popular movie, and you're hearing all the rustling of the box, the popcorn and all this stuff, and it kind of gets annoying. I'll take that over, get your steps in while you're watching a movie. Nobody's going to want to do that. Are you kidding me? But I just thought, gimmicks. You have to have a little gimmick. Why not have a gimmick? And we lost somebody today, guys. We lost an actor, a good character actor who's been, in movies since the 80s, maybe 70s, I don't know. But Graham Greene passed away today at the age of 73. And I'm sure you guys have seen his face. He's been in a lot of things. Dances with Wolves. I could think of like a movie that I loved him in was Die Hard with a Vengeance. But he's like been in. He was a big character actor. He was always like in there. You always recognized his face. So he passed away today at the age of 73. Lived a pretty long life right there. And so a lot of people were going, oh man, because he's just like one of those guys where you look at him, you go, I know that face, but you never really knew his name, you know? It's like that, like he's that kind of character actor. Like I know that face. So may he rest in peace, and condolences to his friends and family right there. But yeah, rest in peace, Graham Greene. Great character actor, man. Showed up in so many things. You met him at Halifax? That's cool, Tony. That's cool. And then finally, we got some art, Sebastian Escobar. And we had another black and white image, but this time it is Amelia Alcock as Supergirl. Good art right there. Great art right there. She's going to kill it. She's totally going to kill it, man. She's totally going to kill it as Supergirl. At first, I was a little I kind of went, I don't know if it's going to work, but now that we've seen her in the costume, we've seen her, even fly for a brief moment of time, I think she's going to kill it. I really do. I think she's going to kill it. And now that that's all the tweets right there, I did want to say this. I talked about this on the Vodka stream. We talked about it, and I keep on like making this a point because one of the things that, obviously you guys know I love DC, and I'm all supportive of James Gunn and the DCU, and I know like being like a Snyder fan too, it's been, obviously I've had so many people come at me like in the Snyder, the diehards that come at me and just kind of go like, Jesus Christ, you're a traitor, you're this, you're a shill, you're all this, I get called every name in the book, guntard, whatever you want to, pick and choose. I've been called it. So it's kind of funny because, I've said this many times because obviously we knew the diehards were not going to ever be supportive of anything that James Gunn does. They have James Gunn derangement syndrome. They think he's like the worst person in the world. And it's weird how obsessive they are because like every day, anytime I'm like on my For You page on Twitter and I see one of these idiots and then I click on and then it's just nothing but that. And I'm like, and again, these are diehard Snyder fans that are embarrassing themselves. They're embarrassing the fandom. And then of course, they learned fuck all when it came to the Snyder Cut movement and what that was all about. But, but what was interesting too, what I was seeing as well was the quiet Snyder fans, and even people that I associate with that, we all met through the Snyder Cut movement and our love of Zack Snyder and everything. And then, they've been pretty quiet, but then sometimes you see a little bit, you see them kind of, all of a sudden start throwing some shade. You start seeing, and all of a sudden there's some of them that just went buck wild. And I'm like, all right, I knew you were one of those crazies, and I'm like, and it's been disappointing when I've been friends with some people, and then all of a sudden they just unleashed the inner fucking psycho fan like out. They're just like, nah, James Gunn, wah, They started going crazy, and I'm like, oh, you are one of those, and that sucks. But what's interesting though is, and like I said, we were talking about this on the Vodka stream. Is even like the people, like there's people that I'm friends with that are still cool, but they're not James Gunn fans, which is totally fine. You don't have to be. I'm not the biggest James Gunn fan. I'm definitely not. I don't love the guy, but I don't hate the guy. I love Zack. But I don't love James, but I think he's the right man for the job when it comes to something like this. I 100% think that. But what's interesting, guys, and where I'm leading to this, and what I keep on expressing, I even talked about this in real life with a friend of mine over the weekend that I got to see. He's a big comic book nerd like I am. He enjoyed Superman. He enjoys Snyder. We're kind of like the same when it comes to what we enjoy when it comes to all this fucking cape shit. And we were having a conversation, and I was like, and I brought this up to him too, is the fact that obviously with the DCU starting, it was all James Gunn. Creature Commandos, Superman, Peacemaker, all James Gunn, written, directed. It's all James Gunn because he had to put it all on himself at first to start this thing. And yeah, a lot of people, even like, I was talking to Slav Free Talks. He even agreed that, yeah, starting off, the way that the DCU is starting off, it's a little interesting. You have an adult R-rated, series, a cartoon series. Then you have Superman, and then you lead into an adult live action series. It's kind of like an interesting choice when you're starting a new universe. And we, a lot of people are kind of like going, yeah, that's kind of an interesting way to start this universe. But what's going to be interesting about 2026, about the DCU in 2026, is the fact that all 3 projects that are coming out next year are just produced by James Gunn. He is not writing, he is not directing any of them. Lanterns, Supergirl, Clayface. And that's what's going to be interesting to see, reactions from the general public, from like people who cover this kind of stuff, who are already like trying to throw James Gunn out with the bathwater because of, Superman leading into Peacemaker, and then they're doing like this whole thing, that conservative side that's like, oh my God, they're marketing to kids. James Gunn wants you to watch Peacemaker that has an orgy in the fucking first episode. He wants you, come on kids, gather around. It's like, no, that's not the case. You are actually lying. You are lying. You are lying that they are not, they are marketing that to kids. They are not. There is 100%. If kids are watching that is on the parents, which I keep on expressing. So, but that's what's going to be interesting, though. Like, I mean, that was just like one of the thoughts. I was like, oh yeah, every project, there's not going to be, James Gunn has, seen the script, he's read, gave notes, but the only credit you're going to see James Gunn is produced by James Gunn. So I'm very curious about next year and the DCU and how people are going to respond to that. Even like the James Gunn haters and the James Gunn kind of like, I just don't really like the guy. Just those guys. That's what I'm kind of wondering. And then of course that kind of conservative side that's trying to throw him out, send him out into the cornfield because he's marketing orgies to kids or something like that. I don't know. It's just something I was like thinking about. It's just something I was kind of thinking about. I think people need to be happy for one. Yeah, well. But anyway, so it was just like one of those thoughts that I was like thinking about, and I expressed, and I just wanted to talk about that again. So, all right. So, but anyways, all right. So let's talk about a couple of things here. Let's go down the road. Let's see. Yeah, we already talked about that. We're talking about that. Okay. Obviously, we had the Batman 2 stuff. There's some Batman 2 stuff where we have, co-writer Mattson Tomlin, when it comes to the Batman Part 2, he said this right here. The only worthwhile reason to make a sequel to anything is because there's a story burning to be told that you believe can top what came before. So obviously, talking about that script and saying, like, of course, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's not even, like, really news because it's like, yeah, naturally, of course, you're going to... When you write a sequel, you're going to make it better than the first one. The whole goal is to make a better movie. Is to definitely make a better movie. Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, that's what he was just talking about right there. And then it's kind of funny, too, because guess who finally is reading the Batman Part 2 script? Oh, yeah, Commissioner Gordon has checked in. Mr. Jeffrey Wright, he got a little, look at that. They sent it over. Look at that thing. I mean, it's locked in there. That's how they send that script. That script is in that little pouch, and it's got locks on it for the zippers. That's how they transported that script right there. So nobody could open it up. I'm wondering if did whoever showed up to drop that off on his doorstep, or was it like handcuffed to that person's goddamn wrist? That's some secret agent shit right there. So Jeffrey Wright has read the Batman 2 script. So that's cool. So that's some Batman 2 kind of stuff right there. With both of, with that. And then, of course, there's a lot of Peacemaker stuff recently. Okay, now, so now getting into Clayface. So the first things that we were seeing on Saturday when it came to Clayface, that everybody was like, because they're filming Clayface right now, currently in Liverpool, London. They're going to be filming Liverpool, London? Yeah, I don't know, Liverpool. But they're going to be, obviously we knew that they're going to be shooting there. And the first things that got shown when it came to the set were the Gotham Police cars. So we have Gotham Police. That was the first things that showed up. We saw the trailers where they were dropping off all the cars. That was some of the first things that we saw when it came to Clayface. And the biggest thing, too... And so, of course, the biggest thing, one of the biggest things was just the fact that people were trying to, because people, I swear to God, people will not give up. I mean, it's literally hashtag merge debate. That's what it's called now. Merge debate. Like, what the hell? It's all like, oh, they're trying to find any kind of clues, any kind of hints that any of this stuff, when it comes to this Gotham City, is it like Matt Reeves' Gotham City, and there is going to be a merging of Matt Reeves into the DCU and Robert Pattinson. And it's like, shut up, stop it, stop it. News, GothamNews1.com. So we got some of that. We got some old style like cars right there. I'm just pulling this all from DC Film News, what they found. And see, again, when you look and compare at what the Gotham City PD cars look like in the Batman and what they look like right here, they don't look like that in the Batman. Don't look like that in the Batman. So let's just stop it. Established in 1820. So yeah, stop it. So there's that little shield right there on the cars, but that was like the big thing right there. And yeah, you can actually see, so here's the comparison. So you have GCPD right there, that shield, and then there's the shield right there for the Batman. Two completely different shields. So we don't have to worry about that. Yeah. But yeah, people are just so like, they want it to happen so badly. They want it to happen so badly, holy crap. And who is that? Let's see. So then, of course, we had this right here. We had like the Gotham Gazette and the Gotham Herald. And it's kind of interesting because seeing Red, I forgot what this guy's name was, Jimmy Red McCoy. He's a character in the DC universe. So they do have somebody right there who's like a politician or a lawyer. Tax evasion Red's lawyers prepare for a case. Yeah, I'm trying to look at it sideways to be investigated. But I know I've heard that, and people were going, oh, yeah, that's a character from the comic books. Some people were even zooming in right here. Like it almost looks like you see Clayface right there or something. Very interesting. But, yeah, so that was spotted. And then, of course, there was something else that was kind of spotted, too. Because, you know, anytime we have one of these comic book movies, I mean, let's face it, anytime you have a superhero movie, there's always going to be graffiti somewhere, right? And especially when it's Gotham fucking City. You have Gotham City, there's going to be graffiti, and you're going to find some Easter eggs hidden in there somewhere, right? You're going to find some, and I mean, you could kind of look, and maybe there's something in there. I'm like, I don't know. Is there something that says Joker? I don't know. You're like looking at all this kind of stuff, and it's like, maybe not. But then, of course, there's another, like, a look at the Gotham City car, and that right there. But there is, like, one that somebody spotted right here. It does say the Jokers right there. It says the Jokers. GCPD, Andre Forrest, I don't know who that is, but the biggest thing right there was the fact that you see the Jokers, which is kind of interesting. So is there a gang that's called the Jokers in this DCU? I mean, we always hear about the Jokers when it comes to Batman Beyond. Like if you tuned into, DC Fanimated, Scott and I have been talking a lot about Batman Beyond and how the fact that it's like that the Jokers are like a gang, because there's no Joker until we get to that movie, Return of the Joker. We got Gotham General Hospital right here. We got some shots right there. Stand up to Gotham Police. DJ Half Price. More set photos. Andy Cantata. Yeah, more stuff. And then, of course, even at Gotham, I mean, because... So basically what we think is, okay, so what's actually, I think what's happening here, seeing these set photos and seeing these set videos. So we got a set video right here that takes place at Gotham General Hospital. And naturally, why would they be at the hospital? Well, naturally, we've got Matt Hagen, who, of course, is going to be, he's suffering from a very, traumatized facial injury. So I'm guessing that he's being transported to the hospital. We're going to see him in the hospital with his face all effed up. And here's a little set video thing right here that they're showing that they were filming at. And I think they were unloading. So this is after whatever accident, however it's like told, the accident that's happening where they're transporting Hagen into Gotham City General. And you can see the big slate that says Clayface right there too. So it looks like let's fast forward a little bit. They're taking him out and rushing him into the hospital. So we're going to have we're gonna have one of those. We're gonna have one of those scene moments when it comes to Clayface of like he gets the horrific, you know, face gets fucked up, injury, whatever the hell, and then they're gonna rush him to the hospital. And like I said, it's gonna be it's gonna be crazy because obviously you saw the thumbnail. You saw the thumbnail. They actually showed him, right? They showed him right here. And then, of course, we have, here's the director, John Watkins, right there, right in the middle. John Watkins walking the set. So we got a picture of him, which is cool. I'm sure he's going to do a fan-fucking-tastic job. Come on. But then, there it is, guys. So what's his name? I always forget his name. So Tom Rhys Harris. Tom Rhys Harris, of course, is playing Matt Hagen. And we know that, you know, Mike Flanagan based this story off of Feet of Clay. So we know, yes, he's going to have to suffer like a facial injury and everything. And we know that that's going to be like part of the reason why, you know, when it comes to who knows how he essentially becomes Clayface. But you know that part of the reason is because it's going to clear up his face. And then, of course, you know, I don't know what they're going to do if like he gets that heavy dose of it right there. But Jesus, dude got effed. Dude got effed up, man. I tell ya. Good old Hagen right there, just fucked up. So effed up. That's yeah, and that's this is what the dude looks like beforehand. So he was on the set right there, and that's what he looks like before he gets effed up. Good looking chap, obviously, and then yeah. So before, after, oof. It's going to be interesting to see what exactly like happens to him in that sense. And then, of course, we have an up-close look at the slate. The slate of Clayface, they don't have any kind of secret title or running title or whatever the hell. You know, sometimes they don't have the actual title. But they said, fuck it, we're going to have that. I do love the fact that it has like this, you know, these like little drops of like probably it's supposed to be like, oh yeah, it's representing Clay. And then, of course, there's the font and everything when it comes to Clayface. I don't know. It probably won't be the actual movie font because it usually never is. But there it is. At least on the slate, it looks like that. And it looks pretty damn cool. Looks pretty cool. Yeah. And then, of course, we have City of Gotham Police Department 298th Precinct. And I'm guessing that, Commissioner Gordon, Harvey Bullock, probably not going to be here, right? You know, we haven't heard anything about any of those type of characters. It would be kind of cool if they established some of the GCPD characters, like a Bullock, or what's the girl's name? I totally forgot. I'm like blanking, of course. You know, I thought it would be even kind of cool if they introduced Commissioner Gordon, and I'm talking about Montoya, of course. Then I'm like, have Montoya in there at least. Have some familiar person. It would be cool if it was like Harvey Bullock was like in this movie. That'd be pretty sweet. Maybe it doesn't have to have Commissioner Gordon. I don't know. It just seems like it'd be a good opportunity to start injecting some of these Batman characters already in there, because then we're all suspecting like maybe there's going to be a Batman presence somewhere, whether it's a cameo or a silhouette again. I don't know. Most likely, I'm not getting my hopes up on anything Batman when it comes to Clayface, but then again, who freaking knows? Who knows? And then Max Magella, he was spotted on set. If you guys remember Max Magella, you know, he was in The Social Network, been in a lot of different movies. We talked about him being cast in this movie. He was spotted on set holding a Jitters coffee. So Jitters is all through the DCU because Jitters is in Peacemaker. It was in Superman. I'm pretty sure it was in Creature Commandos. So there you go. Uh-oh. Hey, moderators, we got our boy back. Our spammer boy is back. Now he's the. Ugh, you got too much time on your hands there, Mr. Perkins. Yeah, there's Jitters Coffee right there. So we got a sign, Metropolis Finest, now in Gotham. So already, just with background, we have connection already when it comes to the DCU. That's why you can't just be like, okay, nope. Yeah. Nope. So at least we have that. Yeah, where are the mods at? Jesus Christ. No mods out there? All right. I guess I'm going to have to freaking do it then. Let's see. Do we got them yet? Nope. I'll do it. Hold on. Come on, come on, come on. All right, there we go. Where is it? All right, why is this not working? There we go. Work. It's loading. Sorry, hold on. Let's see. Got Dwayne. There we go. Done. All right, he's done. He's done. And yes, Droga, I'm going to make you a moderator. I'm going to make you a moderator. Let's see. Standard. There we go. Let's see. Dell, I'm going to make you a moderator. Huh? I'm going to make you a moderator too. Just need some additional help right there, huh? Make you one too. Cloned. I'll make you one too. There you go. Let's add some more moderators right here. All right. Cloned. All right. So I made 3 of you guys moderators. Oh yeah. Here we go. Ryan, I'll make you one too. You're commonly out there too. All right. And then even Arkham. Arkham, I'll make you, since you guys are out there. There you go. All right. There we go. Yeah, because like I said, sometimes, you know, I get it. I mean, these streams go on for a while. You start doing something else. I'm not saying that. So, Taladia, I'll make you a moderator. There we go. All right. There we go. Let's add some more moderators because, yeah, it seems like I'm getting the spammer guys in here. So, anyways, all right, we're done. So now we got a new crew of moderators. Love it. Welcome aboard, guys. Since you guys, you know, are supporting the channel. And you're always here, so making you moderators. Okay, cool. So yeah, Taladia. Oh yeah, Jacob. I should make you a moderator too. You're always out there. Fucking Jacob. I love it. He's like, what the fuck? A moderator too. Oh, Jacob, you crack me up. All right, here. Let's see. Where are you at, Jacob? I don't even see you. Is this thing not loading? Why don't I see you anymore? Didn't you just post something? Okay, I'm looking at 2 different chats here. My God. There you are. Jesus Christ. All right. There you go. You now. Now we got a whole new crew of moderators. Thank you, guys. Just for that. All right. Now let's go back to business here. And then it was kind of funny, too, because it's kind of funny because on the Spider-Man Brand New Day set, we saw one of the crew members was wearing a Superman hat. He was wearing the new Superman hat, which was kind of cool because we're getting like cross-pollination kind of, you know, between the 2 studios. And on the and I think this was on Clayface? Yeah, on the Clayface set. You know, I mean, they're using, I mean, let's face it, when it comes to, you know, this world, sometimes it's like the same crews that are like working on both movies, and sometimes they bring over the merch from what they worked on. So we got another look at a Supergirl logo right here because I guess this guy was working on the Supergirl movie and now he's working on Clayface. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to be wearing my Supergirl merch. Supergirl merch. I love that. So that was spotted on set too. And then yeah, then we got, and it was kind of funny too. Okay, so we'll look at more things as well. So let me go through some of this other stuff too, because, you know, there wasn't just everything on whatchamacallit, on DC Films. Some other people caught some other things. We got cops. Of course, we got cops. We got some GCPD cops. Right there, and of course, like I said, the shield on their sleeve is nothing like the Batman. Nothing like the Batman. Of course, there's no Officer Martinez here. Hey, Mr. Wayne! Hey, Mr. Wayne! We don't got that guy in here, even though, hey, I would gladly have him in all the movies. You know, Martinez, why not? I'm trying to think, like, what else we got going on right here. And then we got Watkins right here, the director, working with some actress, and they're doing like the whole rain thing. It wasn't raining this day in Liverpool, so they had a rain machine. But of course, you have to make Gotham City rainy. Gotham City just doesn't look right during, you know, in sunlight. Who wants to see Gotham City in sunlight? Nobody wants to see Gotham City in sunlight. Are we kidding here? And then we got some more shots of our boy right here. That's right. I forget his name, Tom Reese Harris. I got to remember that. But we got more, and this is kind of interesting because he's wearing a little bit of a mask right here. Huh? What? So that's also interesting. He's going to be wearing one of those like Phantom of the Opera kind of masks almost, but a mask that's just like covering his disfigured face. Ooh. Ooh. And then we got a mob boss. We got some kind of mob boss. Who knows who this is? People are trying to be like, who's this actor? Who is this? Who is that? But we got a mob boss on the set too. A bald guy, sunglasses. Of course, he's got the trench coat over his shoulders, trying to look like he's important or whatever. So we do have a mob boss, some kind of mob boss. I don't think it's going to be Thorn. I don't know if it's going to, I don't think Daggett is going to be in this. You know, if you've watched Feet of Clay, if you watch that episode, you know, I mean, it's very much, there's Roland Daggett, and then of course, you know, Rupert Thorne was like a presence in there as well. But I don't know if they're actually going to do that. But yeah. Okay, what else we got? I mean, see, like right here, people were finding this right here, and it's like, is this part of it right here? Is this part? I mean, is that Clayface? Is that what something's gonna be? Is that like a little tease of something? If you get that little close up right there, huh? I mean, that looks pretty freaking nasty. Looks pretty nasty. Or is that just like a drawing that they put on here? I don't know. He does look like Hugo Strange, Ryan, but Hugo Strange is a scientist. He wouldn't be wearing that. That's for damn sure. Yeah, there's a lot of set pictures and videos. Who's this? And we got this mystery man. We got a bunch of, I don't know. We got some mystery men right here. I guess they're just like some dudes on the street. Some dudes, I don't know, but they're filming that. But yeah, and then of course people were making the correlation that they were filming in front. They were filming in front of the same building that they were filming when it came to the funeral scene in the Batman. So of course, naturally, again, the whole merge debate, the mergers, the Batman mergers, I guess they're calling them. I guess you got to put a title on everything. The mergerists out there are still trying to connect the dots. I'm like, they're just shooting in the same fucking area because Liverpool is good. Liverpool is good for Gotham. Tell ya. Because that's what they were trying to do. It was like right in front of here and everything. So they had this as well. And people were making that correlation. Making the correlation. And it's like, good Lord. Come on, guys. It's not happening. Stop it. Please stop. Please. Please stop. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I'm not going to, like I said, I wasn't going to go over every little bit. But I mean, from what I've seen so far, this movie's going to be... I think it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, 2026 DCU is going to be vastly different from 2025 DCU. That's what I was just getting on at the opening of this whole discussion right here. It's just going to be it's going to be a different tone. It's going to be a lot of things different. I know people are like, who asked for a Clayface movie? Who asked for it? Stop. I hate it when people say that. It's like nails on a goddamn chalkboard. I just hate that. Who asked for this? Nobody asked for a lot of things. And guess what? Who asked for a Joker movie starring Joaquin Phoenix that had really nothing to do with Batman or anything like that? Nobody asked for that, but it made $1 billion and won Academy Awards. Okay? Shut up. You just don't know. And then naturally, you know, it's kind of funny too because I had some dumbass in my mentions that was like, oh, this movie's going to only make like 275, 300 million. And I went, well, if it has the rumored $50 million budget, 40 to 50 or 50 to 60, if you do the math, that would actually make it successful. 275 to 300 million for a $50 million movie, that would actually be successful because what do? You times it by 3. So that would be what? 150 million. So I'm like, you totally wrecked your own argument. You're trying to shit on this thing and you wrecked your argument by saying that because I'm like, well, wait a minute. This movie is not going to cost $225 million like Superman did. This movie is going to be less than $100 million. Hopefully it does stay in that 50 million, 60 million realm because again, you want to make a profit, that's the profit. But everybody, of course, is going to... That's another thing that these idiots are going to do. They're going to be like, oh, Clayface has to make more than Man of Steel. They're going to probably say some shit like that. Or it has to make more than Suicide Squad or whatever the hell. No, it doesn't have to. It just has to be profitable. That's all. And there's numerous ways that it can end up being profitable. But I mean, that's the rumored budget that they were talking about before. They were saying like 40 to 50 million. You know, but I'm like going, but if there's going to be like... visual effects, I mean, yeah, they're going to probably try to do a lot of things practical, and it's going to have that horror element to it, so they can, like, hopefully John Watkins can do, like, some good things when it comes to that. But there is going to be VFX involved. There cannot be, but yeah, but I'm saying, you keep that budget low, my God, this movie could end up being very successful, especially right now with the horror genre being so good as it is right now. People are flocking to horror movies, and I think that's why I go, this is smart, because you're kind of introducing Gotham City in this new DCU in such a different way, and you're doing it through a horror movie. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. So, but yeah, so there was that. And then, okay, and then now that we're done talking about Clayface, now let's talk about some Batman, because, man, where is it at? There's so much crap. Where is it? There it is. Jesus Christ. Alan Ritchson. Alan Ritchson has been on top of a lot of fan casts out there, and I've never been a fan of the fan cast of Alan Ritchson. I just haven't. Yes, I get it. He's big, he's brooding looking, and but there's just something about him where it's just, he doesn't scream Batman. I don't know if it's his squinty eyes or his voice, probably a little bit of both. I just never saw him as Batman. I could see him as Aquaman. Obviously, he did play Aquaman in Smallville, but Batman I was never a fan of. I was never a fan of him being Batman. And he actually was on a podcast recently. He was being interviewed, and he finally poo-pooed the fact that, no, he is not going to be the DCU Batman. Words have been exchanged about Batman, but I strongly don't think that Batman is in my future. I do think there is something in my future with DC, and I would like that to remain true. There we go. All right. No Alan Ritchson Batman. I just was never behind it. It's like I wouldn't have hated it if it would have happened. I wouldn't have hated it, but I just didn't see him as Batman. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think Guns. Remember we talked about it last week where people thought, oh, he's gonna cast Chris Pratt as Batman. No, he's not. He wasn't gonna do that either. I know you have this idea of James Gunn, but it's like, it's the wrong idea. You're just projecting, So no Alan Ritchson. So we're good. Yeah, Bullock, that would be interesting there. That would be an interesting choice for him as Harvey Bullock. I could almost kind of see that. That's interesting. And I didn't think about that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see an Alan Ritchson as some character in the DCU. I'm sure he's on the radar, and if he's already had conversations with James Gunn, maybe they probably talked about characters, like certain characters. So I don't know. Yeah, he could be like Hawkman. He could be Booster Gold. Fuck. Him as Booster Gold would work. Way better than Kamel. Way better than Kamel. So I could see him as Booster Gold. Way more than I could see him as Batman. Shazam, yeah, I know some people were saying Shazam. I don't think there's going to be a Shazam anytime soon. I think like Shazam, because it was so fresh from 2023, that I don't think Gunn really has, a Shazam, unless he decided. That would be funny if he just brought Zachary Levi into it. No, he's not going to do that, but I don't know. We'll see, though. But yeah, there you go. So that's pretty much it. When it comes to your DCU news, we had a lot of Clayface, which was great. And then, of course, we had a lot of, other things, just a lot of Peacemaker stuff. And we're going to be getting into the craziness of Peacemaker, apparently. From everybody who's seen Peacemaker, it just gets crazier from now on. And then, of course, the last 3 episodes are going to be even more insane. So, we talked about Peacemaker on the Vodka stream. And I would say that it was, not as good as the first episode, but, still a decent episode. And it was getting a lot more character development and a lot more of what's happening in Peacemaker. Can't wait till it starts getting really crazy, which is supposed to in episode 3, apparently. According to some people who are in the know who've already watched it. Anyways. Dwayne Johnson. DJ. The Rock. Now, I will say that I've been a little hard on Dwayne Johnson in the past couple of years, past few years. Ever since, Black Adam, which I do enjoy. That's what's so funny. It's like some people, I do enjoy Black Adam. I think it's an entertaining movie. There's things I don't like about it, but I do enjoy it. It's shot well. There's a lot of things that I really enjoy about Black Adam. I think they just missed the mark with certain things. But we all know that back in those days, before James Gunn got the DC Studios gig, him and Peter Safran, is the fact that that Dwayne Johnson was also trying to Dwayne Johns. He was trying to get the DC Studios gig too. Him and his $7 production, Hiram Garcia. That was on the table. That's what I was hearing from my little source. That there was kind of like a power struggle that was going on, and Dwayne Johnson was trying to do. He was trying to do whatever he could to try to like make sure Black Adam was going to be a success, and that's one of the reasons why Henry Cavill got screwed over yet again when it came to Superman. Which sucks because we all love Henry Cavill, most of us at least love Henry Cavill as Superman, but he got caught in between all that bullshit to the point where he had to fire his representation, including Danny Garcia, who represents Dwayne Johnson, who's his ex-wife. He fired all those people because of all what happened. I mean, we got to realize that they were the ones that really dropped the ball. I know everybody wants to blame Jimmy Guns. He fired him. He fired him. There was no contract, you idiots. I don't know how many times I had to fucking say that. He was promised a contract, but he didn't get fired. He just was like, I'm supposed to be doing a whole new thing here. Sorry, dude. Anyways, that's besides the point. We don't need to relive all that. But Dwayne Johnson, I was giving him some shit for a bit because I'm kind of going like, the dude needs to change it up. The dude needs to change it up. And I think we're finally getting a changed up Dwayne Johnson. He's starting to take things seriously now, folks. He really is. He's going to start taking his career way more serious because he went through, when he blew up, he fucking blew up. You watch those first Dwayne Johnson movies when he was coming up, he had some he had some different characters, and then he started being the leading man, and it was all working, and then all of a sudden, he gets in the Fast and Furious franchise, things start going up, Jumanji, and then all of a sudden he becomes like, the big, huge, blockbuster movie star. But then, when it came to certain movies like Skyscraper that wasn't really based on anything, sometimes those movies didn't really do all that well. It seems like when he was part of a franchise, an existing franchise, that's where he would flourish. That's where Dwayne Johnson would flourish. And then I think it got to the point where everybody was just kind of sick of the shtick, the Dwayne Johnson, the Rock shtick, because he would just play the same character essentially in every movie. There was not really much range. And then all of a sudden we hear about the Smashing Machine, where it's going to be an A24. It's the Safdie brothers, right? Or one of them, Benny, who's going to be directing this movie about an MMA fighter, and I forget his name off the top of my head right now, but you guys know who I'm talking about. Obviously, we have the film festivals that are happening. They're playing right now, and of course, everybody's doing that whole thing, and we're seeing the videos. Why do we have to, every time there's a film festival, why do we have to hear about how long a standing ovation happened? Who fucking cares? and I always think that's got to be so awkward, too. It's like, you're just standing there, and it's like, good Lord. But yeah. So anyways, yeah, the Venice is all happening right now and everything. So we're getting those videos where you got like they do this long of a standing ovation and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, okay. So Dwayne Johnson. Let's get back to the whole Dwayne Johnson talk. So the biggest thing, though, Mark Kerr. Thank you there. Thank you, Tony. First off, the biggest thing, the first thing. Let's see. Let's bring up a couple little things here. Okay, so the biggest thing. Where's the video of this? I had there's the video. There's no. Of course, the video doesn't want to pop up. Why does the video? You search stuff and you're like, the video's not. Okay, here it is, right here. So him and Emily Blunt. Here's Dwayne Johnson. And everybody's going like, what the fuck happened to Dwayne Johnson? There he is. Showing up. You could turn that down. And he's looking noticeably skinny. Not as big. Not the normal big, huge Dwayne Johnson. Still looks great. But everybody's kind of noticing, what the hell, man? Did you just drop about 40 pounds of muscle? What is happening right now? Huh? He's not taking the juice anymore. Or he's taking a little bit of the juice. That's what's happening. I think it's pretty obvious. Dave Bautista, Dwayne Johnson, they are now in their 50s. Okay? They can't keep taking the shit that they were taking. And of course, they're never going to admit what they were taking. But it's the worst kept secret in Hollywood. It's the worst kept secret when it comes to all. We know they come from wrestling. Of course he was fucking, you know? He was getting the juice, the gear. He was obviously doing that, okay? Now I'm going to bring up this right here. I'm going to bring up this he was on a podcast recently with a doctor called Mark Hyman. Quite a last name. MD. He was on this podcast right here talking about health, talking about a lot of things, and he said this right here. This is back in June, mind you. June.
Look at all the valves and things like that.
Hold on. So let me go back a little bit. All right, here we go.
Cardiovascular workup, and let's look at the heart, and let's look at all the valves and things like that. So when I was looking at the valves, and this was a little bit before you and I met.
Yeah.
But just as we met.
Yeah.
I was looking at the valves, and I had a complete cardiovascular workup, and everything looked great. Thank God, knock on wood. And then there was what looked to be some stuff inside the,
like a buildup of
like
what
a
they
buildup,
thought was plaque.
What they thought was plaque in the circumflex valve.
In the artery, yeah.
In the artery, right? And
would this make you buy a
come on.
Two people could win a Lamborghini Huracan Storado, a Hennessy Velociraptor.
Sorry, guys. Fucking ads.
I didn't even know what that. I never even heard of that. Well, it sounds cool.
It goes around the back of your heart.
It goes in the back. Now I know that, right? I always hear the main two.
Yeah.
That's what you hear.
Yeah.
But for those listening, like me, I was unaware that we also have a really important one that goes around the back, the circumflex. There was some buildup, or so they thought. And then when we looked at that on the old school traditional MRI and the scans, it looked like I had buildup. And then immediately the call to action was, all right, well, let's get you on this medication. It's a multi-month medication, and here we go. We got to get on it right away. And I thought, God. And I was so hesitant because I wasn't taking a medication. So then I called you.
Yeah.
And I said, Doc, listen, here's what I got. I'm not indicting anybody. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but what do you think?
Yeah.
And here's what their suggestion is. And again, I'll never forget on that Zoom, you went, okay, hold on. Hold on. Let's not jump to conclusions. I don't want you getting on that right now. Don't get on the medication. There's a couple of steps here, I think, that we can do that could be invaluable. For example, let's get a scan done, but let's get an AI scan done.
Yeah.
That is incredible. And I said, okay, we got the scan done. You sent it to your guy, and then it came back, and it was almost like, when you hear a song for the first time, you're like, holy fuck, I love that song. That song sounds great. Yeah. So I remember when you told me, you said, hey, look, here's the report from our head cardiologist, who's a very good friend of yours, and you said he said, looks great. It is just an anatomical thing that's happening back there. It's not built up at all.
Yeah.
His valves look great.
Okay, so he talked about this back in June, that there was something that, when it came to that valve that's like back there behind the heart, there was maybe some like concern right there. But you better believe that now that he's 53 years old, however old he is, he's in his 50s, he just can't keep on taking some of the stuff that he was taking. And he was taking shit. I mean, no matter what. And he's still going to be taking stuff, no matter what. Like, he's not like he's just totally, but he's probably been told, just like Dave Bautista, you have to start weaning yourself off of this stuff. You have to cut it down, because if you're doing cycles and you've been doing it for years and years and years, it is going to have repercussions on your health. It most certainly is. But of course, you could still take the TRT, and he's probably taking other things too. I don't know all the stuff. I've watched videos, and I'll watch some of this stuff that are there. You could search it. There's way smarter people out there. But obviously, he's still going to be taking stuff, but he can't take the stuff that he was taking before, especially when he got as big as he got, for Fast and the Furious, for Black Adam. When you saw that, he was really trying to focus on getting as big as he got. Even with Hercules, he got so huge for Hercules back, in in the early 2010s and everything. It's just gonna, eventually it's just gonna get to you. It's gonna get to you. And I think, he finally was like, okay, checking out things. I'm gonna have to get on a much more stuff. He still looks great. That's what's so funny, is he still looks great. And that's him right there with Mark Kerr. They're right on the red carpet, so that's him who he's playing. That's the thing, is Dwayne Johnson still looks great. He just looks like he's about 30, 40 pounds lighter. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But of course, a lot of people are like, he's sick, he's got cancer, he's whatever. And I'm like, no, he still looks better than all of us. He still looks better than all of us. And it's like, Jesus. people just like run rampant with it. And then, of course, naturally, like I was saying, the whole standing ovation thing, he did. You want to see The Rock cry? You want to see Dwayne Johnson cry? Well, here you go. Woo, yeah. Anyways, then it just gets annoying. That went on for 15 minutes. Jesus Christ. That went on for 15 minutes. But, good on Dwayne Johnson. See, the whole point of this whole topic right now is the fact that good on Dwayne Johnson, because I think after what happened with Black Adam, because that was such a passion project, and then everything when it came to the power struggle, when it came to WB, when it came to a lot of factors, when it came to all of that, and he lost that, I think he's even said in like recent interviews that he started going, man, I should stop thinking about the box office. Am I living my dream or am I living somebody else's dream? He said that in one of these interviews right here. And I think Dwayne Johnson really just had an awakening, probably like with everything that's happening now, being in his 50s, and he's got his wife, he's got his kids. It's like he's probably starting to think, shit, I can't just be the big blockbuster action star all the time. I have to spread out, and he said he was afraid to take on these kind of roles. He was afraid to take on these kind of roles, and now we got the Smashing Machine coming out. Hey, and guess what, guys? It debuted at the first 30 or something, 20, 30 reviews. It was 100%. I think right now it's at like an 88%, but everybody's calling it his best role. It's a career-changing role. It's all this kind of stuff. So all these critics are going, Jesus Christ, Dwayne Johnson's actually showing acting chops. He's taking shit seriously, which I applaud. Because I think a lot of us were just getting sick of the same old shtick from Dwayne Johnson. People, I don't follow wrestling, but I know people in the wrestling world, fans were getting tired of him over there too. He went through the ringer in the past 3 years. He went through the ringer, I think. I think he definitely went with the Vin Diesel shit and all the stuff too. You had that as well. He went through the ringer in the past 3 years. And I commend him. I commend him. Because we're going to see a new era of Dwayne Johnson, because he's got that Martin Scorsese movie that he's doing next. And maybe that's part of the reason why he's slimmed down too. Maybe that's part of it as well. That could be it too. Where he's like, part of it is his health. And it's just like, well, just like Dave Bautista said, I can't just be the big brooding guy all the time. And it's not good for your health. So you get into that, you get off what you were doing. Yes, it must suck to lose 30, 40 pounds of muscle, but at the same time, if it means you're healthier, you're healthier. And he still looks good. That's the thing. He doesn't look sick. He doesn't look frail, just like Dave Bautista. When people are saying Dave Bautista looks like he's sick or ill or blah, like, no, he just slimmed down because he's getting off some of the fucking shit that he was on. And that just happens. You hear that, Chris Hemsworth? Be careful. In about 8 years, you're going to have to do the same thing. Can't be playing Thor and getting bigger every time you play Thor for the rest of your life. In the next, Jesus Christ. That's what we're going to see. We're going to see a slimmed up Chris Hemsworth next. All right, there you go. That's it. That's it for Dwayne Johnson. All right, let's talk about box office. What happened at the box office this weekend? Like I said, box office. It's not going to be much. Like I said, we are in, August and September are just like, no blockbusters really. But it is interesting to see what the box office looks like. And, obviously the movie I saw this weekend didn't even make shit. I'm not even seeing it, but we're going to talk about this. Obviously we had Labor Day, so we had an extra day, but congratulations to Weapons, who won the box office yet again for it didn't win last week, but now it reclaimed the spot. And again, like I said, horror is just killing it. This is a $38 million movie that has now made $235.2 million. And that's what's so great, because I loved the movie. I thought it was great. We had the Jaws release that some people saw. That made $9.9 million. Obviously, that was just here in the States. I wish I would have caught that. Would have been cool to see that. Caught Stealing was also the new movie that came out. 15 million. These are just rough numbers. So it got like an international release. I don't know what that budget was. And then we have Freakier Friday, which is number 4. It's crossed, it's 132.6. Doesn't say the budget right here. Kind of wondering what that is. But it seems like this one's been steady, and it's kind of, I don't know. I don't think it's going to make 200 million, but hey, it could do fairly well. Then we have The Roses that came out this weekend. 8 million and then 9.2. And the reason why internationally it's doing better, it's also because the 2 lead actors are not from America. They are from the UK. So it makes sense that the international numbers are, just 1 million, 1.2 million above the other one. Fantastic Four. Hey, look at that. We were wondering, was it going to cross $500 million? There it is. It finally exceeded $500 million. I mean, a lot of us were kind of wondering, was it actually going to do that? Was it actually going to do that? I don't know. It was looking a little for a minute there. Then, of course, we have Superman, which, of course, everybody's still talking about Superman and all this blah, 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 blah. But it's at 611.5. So that's cool. But, of course, where is Toxic Avenger was number 12. $2.2 million. It's funny because that movie was filmed, in 2021? It was filmed 2021, 2022. Nobody wanted to distribute it. And then it finally got distribution. It got some word of mouth. And then it was kind of like, okay, maybe this movie could be like a hit. I told you guys, the screening I saw, I was the only one in there. So people are not flocking towards Toxic Avenger. I have a feeling it might be a cult classic on streaming and video, possibly. Who knows? But yeah, it seems like a lot of people are flocking to it. But I have a feeling it might find an audience streaming. I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. I laughed at several moments, several just off the wall stupid moments. I actually enjoyed it. It's very B-roll, but I actually enjoyed it. But yeah, so there's your box office. And like I said, Superman, it looks like Superman could reach 620. Obviously, everybody's looking at that. And like I said, there's a video out there that I would highly suggest. If I find it, I'll have to look at my history that I would look at when it comes to anybody who still wants. It's just still weird to me. Like, regardless of what you feel about James Gunn or this Superman or how you feel like you were screwed over by Warner Brothers, they owe me. I know, I love those people. They owe me. It's like these guys think they're owed like 2 Justice League movies, a Batman movie, a Superman sequel, another Suicide. I don't know. They think they're owed so many things. Like, no, they don't owe you shit. Then nobody owes you shit. Okay, I get it. Your parents coddled you and gave you everything. That's what I think a lot of these guys are. But I'm just saying, when I got these guys going like, it's a flop. I mean, a $611 box office movie is considered a flop. It's just so weird. But it's Superman. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's just yeah. It just annoys the piss out of me. But like I said, that box office video that I saw where he had a non-biased opinion, a guy who handles box office, and he crunched numbers that that people that are box office experts that claim to be, that don't even dare to crunch. And the biggest thing that I applaud this guy for, because nobody was talking about it, because you would inflate the box office return, but you wouldn't inflate the box or the production budget. You wouldn't inflate that. You wouldn't inflate any of those budgets. It's like, oh yeah, you just inflate the income. But no, you're not going to inflate the production budget or the marketing budget. You got to do that too. If you're going to inflate one, you got to inflate the other. So, anyways, rant over with when it comes to box office stuff. Mortal Kombat! 7 months. Oh, I mean, come on, man. Mortal Kombat was supposed to come out in October. It was supposed to come out. They're releasing all this stuff and everything. And then they released a new poster, and it's Kung Lao's hat slicing the wall. And now it's coming out May 15th of 2026. Of course, if you read the article, the studio's like, well, we just thought a movie like Mortal Kombat, we're not going to put that in October. No, we're going to put it, it'll lead into summer blockbuster season. It's a summer blockbuster movie. Really? Or is the movie not what you guys wanted it to be and it might be a shit sandwich like the first one? I don't know. I have my reservations about all this. You know, I'm worried about it. I love Mortal Kombat, but that first movie had some really cool moments. You know, I had no issues with the casting, but the story, I don't know. I just didn't really like the story. You inject this character that's not even part of the video games. That Cole character didn't make sense. The Scorpion and Sub-Zero stuff was excellent. Raiden looked cool. Liu Kang looked cool. A lot of things. But I'm just kind of wondering, was it delayed because of... I mean, obviously they're going to come up with every excuse in the book, but I'm just kind of going, are we going to hear about reshoots? Are we going to hear about things like that? Are we going to hear about, oh, the runtime's supposed to be this, and then it gets cut down to fucking an hour and 28 minutes? I don't know. It's just, it's a little weird. And a lot of people were disappointed because I think we were all kind of getting amped up. We were getting kind of amped up. I was. And a lot of other people that are Mortal Kombat fans too were also getting amped up for Mortal Kombat 2 because it seemed like this one was going to be a little bit more to the video game. But I mean, it just seems like there's always a curse when it comes to these video game adaptations. I'll tell you what. In Mortal Kombat, I mean, I would say like as much as I can't stand Paul W.S. Anderson, I will commend him for that Mortal Kombat movie that came out in '95. I'll also commend him on Event Horizon. I think he did a good job with that. But every other movie that he's made, I don't think so. But yeah, so it's kind of disappointing. But what can you do, man? Yeah, what can you do? So we got to wait till May now. Hey, if that means it's going to be a better movie, by all means, let it be a better movie. Like, I'll always give a benefit of a doubt. When something's delayed, it's like, okay, they have more time to work on it. You can polish those visual effects. Maybe if you have to do some reshoots, you have time to do reshoots or pick up shots or additional photography. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a little weird. It is a little weird. But what could he do, huh? What can you do? All right, let's go to Twitter questions. Let's see what's happening over on the Twitter. Do I have my spammer? Yep, I definitely have my spammer in there, which I think is that Mr. Perkins. He goes by Matt Reeves Mustache. Watch it be somebody I know that's doing that, but I don't know a Josh Perkins. All right, Eric. Hey, Dave, if you were on stage for an event and got a good old standing ovation, how long would you let it run and be okay, stop? Fucking 2-3 minutes tops. I would feel uncomfortable. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I'd feel like Ricky Bobby. Like, what am I supposed to do with my hands? I don't know what to do with my hands. So I would, no thanks. No freaking thanks. Darren, Mr. Laugh Now, Cry Later, do you think Cornset will help do screen tests with actors who are auditioning for Batman to see who has the best chemistry with Superman? That's interesting. I don't think they'll emphasize it. I wouldn't be surprised if there would be something like that. I think like when it comes to Batman, what they're going to focus on when it comes to casting of Batman is they're going to do like how... Corn Sweat and Brosnahan, it's going to be, they're going to have to, they're obviously, Batman is a very difficult character to cast. And of course they want like a certain style Batman, they'll find him, but then they also got to get the kid, Damian, and they have to like figure out that chemistry test. That's going to be more important, way more important than of course Corn Sweat. But I'm sure that could be a level of something too that they, especially if they decide to do, obviously Batman and Superman they're gonna interact sooner or later, and probably Wonder Woman as well. So yeah, they'll figure out that chemistry. But the biggest thing is Damian and Alfred for Bruce Wayne, and all the whole thing, I guess you could say. Why does this thing always fall off? Damn it! My pen little clicky thing always slips out. So. Rez97, I watched World of Worlds 2025 the other day, and my God, that movie is 100% certified shit sandwich. It totally is. Wow, is it? But it's entertaining. I will say I was entertained by how bad that movie was. Rotten Tomatoes giving it a 0% is pretty damn spot on, to be honest. Probably for the first time for any movie. Yeah, there's been other ones too. I think it actually got bumped up to like a 3%. I think somebody actually gave it a positive review. Darkness Under the Wind, Dave, with MK2 delayed to May. Do you think this means some pretty big changes will go underway, with like Jade's appearance and adjustments to the story due to how the story in the first film was, since this might be the last chance to get investment to this rebooted universe? Yeah, like I said, there could be some changes. I mean, you have a 7-month delay. They've been screen testing Mortal Kombat 2 this whole year. There's been screen tests. We don't hear about those like we heard about every screen test about Superman, of course, but we didn't hear anything about Mortal Kombat because there's no crazy discourse out there and crazy stupid fans out there. Devin Wooter, hi Dave. How surprised that Mortal Kombat 2 got delayed until next year? Yeah, pretty surprised. Do you think WB did the right thing? Well, I hope so. Because WB have a good movies this year. I watched Legends of Zorro. You have a favorite scene? Didn't you ask me about Legend of Zorro? Not too long. I said the scene where he like cuts off her dress and it falls down and like her hair covers her boobs. I mean, there is that scene. No, I mean, Legend of Zorro is great. I love the training scenes. I like the little training scenes between Anthony Hopkins and Antonio Banderas. But, Catherine Zeta-Jones, that was the first time I found out who she was. I think that was the first time a lot of people found out who she was. And it was like, oh, who is this? It's okay to be wise. I feel like MK2 is going to be a commercial success, especially with Johnny Cage being a primary focus. I hope so. I'm rooting for it. I'm definitely rooting for it. And see, right here, there it is. See, this is a fake account. Obviously, there's like 2 followers or whatever, which is probably all his other whatever. Wow, Dave, I'm sure you're on edge of your seat waiting to find out if William McWilliamson will be part of the DCU. Yeah, I don't know. This is, like I said, this is that same dude who was in here earlier with yeah. He's becoming my spammer stalker guy for some reason. And now he's in my mentions as Matt Reeves' mustache. Well played, sir. I'm just like, God damn, how do you have the time to come up with all these different Twitter handles and YouTube handles and all this stuff? I'm like, good God, man. Touch grass. Joshua G. Hey, Dave, do you think Robert Pattinson is feeling... how do you think Robert Pattinson is feeling with all these fan theories and talk all over the internet about wanting his Batman to join up with David Corenswet's Superman in the DCU? Do you honestly think he's probably glad he got Mickey 17 press done? Yeah, it probably is, because now he's not getting all those questions. Very true. Before people started talking about this, and considering this movie is to release in theaters isn't until the Odyssey next year, probably after James Gunn maybe makes the announcement for... Yeah, I think Robert Pattinson is probably hoping that James Gunn does announce the casting of the DCU Batman, so then when it comes to him doing press junkets for any movie, because he's got other movies. He did a movie with Zendaya, also, that's going to be coming out next year. He's got some movies that are be coming out next year, and... he's going to, no matter what, these fucking journalists are going to ask him the question. They're going to ask him the question because it's what drives clicks. I mean, let's face it. Even though there's like superhero fatigue, there's not superhero news fatigue. Have you noticed that? People aren't flocking out to the movie theaters to go see these movies, but my God, they still drive traffic when it comes to these actors answering the questions about superhero movies. That's what's crazy. There's, superhero fatigue, but not superhero news fatigue. But yeah, he's going to get asked. He'll definitely get asked. And he's going to get asked. Even if James Gunn announces we get the DCU Batman, it's all locked in, people are going to ask Robert Pattinson, would you have wanted to? Would you have wanted to be in the DCU? Did you talk to James Gunn? It's going to be all that shit. And I'm sure he has had conversations with James Gunn. It was definitely on the table. I know that for a fact. It was on the table. But... it makes sense for it not to go forward. It just does. It's a different world. But somebody, I saw a tweet today, I should have fucking bookmarked it. Somebody did mention they tweeted out, like, it's going to be interesting if one of them ends up not doing well as the other. And it was like, that's going to be an interesting thing that we're going to see when it, you know, talk about box office comparisons. You know, forget comparing Superman and Man of Steel, you know, 12-year gap. Forget doing that. We're going to be comparing 2 Batman movies within a year of each other. That's what's going to be very interesting. And is, what if one flops and one of them is successful? If Matt Reeves, the Batman Part 2, is super successful and DCU Batman flops, that's going to be very interesting. So that's another thing that we're going to be getting, like when it comes to 2027, 2028, when it comes to the DCU, is like, oh yeah, but we're going to have like 2 different Batman movies that are going to be releasing within a year and a half of each other, maybe 2 years. And that's going to be an interesting comparison. Like, which one does better? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, guys. It's all going to be very, very interesting. All right, guys. That is today's show. Thank you for spending some time with me. Always fun. Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Like I said, if you're subscribed to the Patreon, I'm going to be posting my post show in like the next 20 minutes or so. We'll be talking a little bit more. So look forward to that. Everybody else, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. We'll be doing a live one. It won't be a not so live unless something crazy happens. But I think we're not going to be doing it. We're not going to be doing a DC Fanimated live because Scott's schedule changed. So we're going to be doing a not so live of DC Fanimated on Wednesday. So, but they'll be in the chat, interacting and everything. But yeah, should be good. All right, guys, follow me on all the sock neds, Twitter. Twitter's the best place. Instagram's there. TikTok, all those. Not really Facebook. I try. I post things randomly on Facebook, but that's about it. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you later.